Aloha, y'all. It is Monday, named after the moon, Moon Day. Esoterically also ruled by the moon. The 12th of May, it is a full moon in Scorpio. If you don't know, now you know. The sun is at 21 degrees Taurus. The moon is at right now like 19 degrees Scorpio. When they're exactly opposite, that is the full moon as we know it. So the cards I've pulled for this moon day are as follows. We've got the Empress card. I should show y'all the Empress, the Eight of Pentacles, and a Zeta Reticuli, or the Zeta the Grays, logical thinking. So anyway, I've written music to all the major arcana. Check it out in the comments. I'll post it. This guy's been on my podcast a few times, so check out the Team Rabbit Hole podcast. If you don't know, now you know. The Empress card, though. Everything is possible. Allowing abundance into your life, tapping into the creative flow of the universe, starting something nurturing. Right, with the sun in Taurus, with the Mercury in Taurus, we can really kind of get into the grounding aspect of value and like embodiment, basically. And with the moon, full moon in Scorpio opposite that, go balls deep, basically. So the Empress on page 28, I fully embrace life's rich fecundity. As the archetypal mother, and this is the day after Mother's Day, so synchronicity abounds, the Empress embodies Mother Nature and the various seasons of life from birth through to death, which is a sine wave, right? You got spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, so it's like a heartbeat. Doot, doot. Sine wave is a yin-yang, two-dimensionally represented. Anyway, so birth through to death. She understands that to fully embrace life, we must experience its remarkable hues, ready and open to accept the joy, love, and happiness, together with the pain, loss, and sadness. Yin-yang, both and, not either or. Jupiter and Gemini, both things. What is born will eventually die, and thus we must enjoy, relax, and open to each day we have, understanding the cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. This can be a real mindfuck. Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, trining Uranus and Taurus, but everything has a season, and it all goes through cycles. She is the embodiment of summer, ripe, bursting with vitality, creativity, abundance, and prosperity. A conduit for powerful sensual pleasure, beauty, and sexuality. Sun in Taurus, moon in Scorpio, sensuality and sexuality. Fecundity that is heartily celebrated by her. The milk of life pours from her breasts, and indeed she has the milk of kindness in her, knowing how to attend to creation, nurturing, full of warmth, love, generosity, and patience. She is created here as a beautiful blend of Caucasian, Asian, and African heritage, the mother of the world, her presence weaving a potent gateway for all. I called my song for this Hostess with the Mostess, right? That's what she is. Seated on a megalithic stone structure similar to that at Newgrange, the Passage Grave, built in Ireland around 3200 BC, and embellished with perhaps one of the oldest symbols of human spirituality, the spiral, she is mistress of her womb-like domain, the hidden secret sexual parts, moon in Scorpio, full moon in Scorpio. The ancients lived by a womb cosmology of creation, in which everything was birthed and dissolved through a womb space in waves of cosmic cycles. As every being is birthed through a womb, so scientists believe that the universe was birthed by a giant black hole, or a cosmic womb. The spiral, which is so prominent in plants and natural systems, like the Fibonacci sequence, right, spirals, and systems such as weather in our own galaxy, the Milky Way, and was such an important symbol for the Celts, is presumed to mean the balance of inner and outer consciousness, as within, so without, as above, so below. We will never know because the Druids of Celtic polytheism, known as paganism, were forbidden to ever write about sacred material, right? Scorpio moon. They kept it secret. They kept it safe. A gilded bird's cage floats above the Empress's head, suggesting that despite appearances, the door to freedom is always open. We can all be free as a bird. She invites us to abandon oneself to her and let her mysterious energy infuse your creations, fueling the birth of eventual form or structure. The world would certainly be out of balance and therefore ugly if everyone was a painter or a singer or a dancer. Nevertheless, the spirit of creativity is nourishing to all. When your creativity so totally infuses your life, every moment is seen living with creative potential. You live in God, Mars in Leo, right? Venus in Aries, Neptune in Aries. It's like you can be a creative and action-oriented person, creating value, Sun in Taurus. That is part of the deep mystery of being, Moon in Scorpio. The Empress also invites you to nourish and nurture your own vehicle of transformation, your body, which was given by the miracle of nature despite its imperfections. Attend to the balance and beauty of your physical environment, especially your home and the natural world around you. Sun in Taurus, Mercury in Taurus, the grounded reality, the hard facts, quote unquote, of this great mystery. Moon in Scorpio, full moon. The Empress, everything is possible, allowing abundance into your life, tapping into the creative flow of the universe and starting something nourishing. The clarifying card we've got for this is the Eight of Pentacles. And if you're a Pentacle, you're an Earth sign, so you're either a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. Make sure the glare is not too bad. Sorry about that. Eight of Pentacles on page 176. I'm doing the work I was born to do. Practicing your skills, encouraging others to be their best, deep satisfaction of your work, right? So she's finding deep satisfaction in just providing nurturance and bounteousness, right? Fecundity, right? She's like, here, my milky breasts are ready to be suckled. My garden is blooming. The sunset is so beautiful. Whatever, the analogy you want to put it as. And even with the mistakes, quote unquote, even with the imbalance and imperfections, it's still beautiful. I love that little splotch, by the way. With this full moon, there's a moon in Scorpio, zombies. We can lose our heads a little and say, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh my gosh, I don't have the value I'm supposed to be having. Especially with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, trining Uranus and Taurus, Pluto opposite Mars and Leo. We're like, who am I as a how am I supposed to act on the stage, especially when like everybody's not giving me my lines, or I feel like I'm in the wrong scene. You're exactly where you always need to be, no matter what, and just keep doing the thing, because you have keys and codes that unlock things for yourself and others in this alchemical reality. And if you avoid them, just like the key maker in the Matrix, it's like one guy has one key that will unlock a door at a specific time. There's no other way to get it, right? It was a bounteous, full, rich, kind of grounded practicality in the magic of the Matrix. He had a job to do. That was his function in the Matrix. So the last card we've got is from the Galactic Heritage cards. I pull these on moon days because aliens and the moon, whatever. But this is number 32, Zeta Reticuli, which are like the grays. On page 71, linear thinking, past timeline. When beings stop themselves from feeling emotion, especially fear, and resort to only logic to navigate through reality, reality becomes very limited, right? We need to feel every kind of spectrum of emotion, all the colors of the rainbow, including fear, even though it's not always preferable. Like fear has a role, has a place. New ideas that don't conform to the formula of linear thinking are rejected without explorations. This card recommends that you look at your patterns of limited thinking and see how they restrict the experiences you have in life, right? How are you too stubborn, too strict, too repetitive, too grounded in a sense, right? Too stuck, right? Sun in Taurus, Mercury in Taurus. With the full moon opposite that in Scorpio, we can get deep into the cracks of the mystery of how we're maybe stuck in our values, in our embodiment. Let yourself begin to think outside the box and explore new ideas that previously seemed impossible. Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, trining Uranus and Taurus. The Zetas had to do this in order to heal their species, and most likely so will humans. Why not start now? Right? So basically, when a person or society resorts to primarily a linear way of thinking to navigate reality, it creates a very rigid box of perception that creates limitations. This is why the Zetas could not see a way out of the box of the situation they created that nearly destroyed their species. Humans have the same challenge on Earth now, and it's vital that we somehow reconnect with our intuition and emotions, Scorpio full moon, in order to navigate away from the same fate as that befell the Zetas. If this card is coming up in a reading, it's challenging you to examine how your own linear thinking keeps you stuck. How can you use your mind and your intuition, heart, to navigate reality? How can you learn to validate both? Jupiter and Gemini, both, not either or, both and. Doing so will be a powerful next step in your personal evolution. So I think the idea here is to be the most full, awesome, expression of your value that you can be, Empress card, and do the jobs you're supposed to do. Maybe you're, Eight of Pentacles, you're going to have to look beyond just the logic of the situation, the facts, the surface level. A plus B equals C. Sure, but A is everything, and B is everything, and everything is everything. Like, if you can get into an intuitive place, even things that seem out of balance will have their place, and you can not feel like you're losing your head on full moons especially, but when things aren't going according to plan, or illogical, or beyond your grasp. And we're going to have a lot of face-melting moments in the near future, trust me on that. Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, trining Uranus and Taurus. If you've enjoyed this, leave a tip, holler for a reading. I give them, people get them, 5-star reviews, it's hot shit. If it's your birthday, it's half off on a reading, and if you recommend somebody to me, you get half off on cards. So holler at me for those. Check out the Team Rabbit Hole podcast, 309 episodes, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Enjoy your full moon day. Adios.